Welcome to the new Justin Hamilton podcast. Today we welcome author Garth Jones back to the show. This, I'm going to be honest with you. This starts off as a conversation about Alien Earth. We were going to summarize the first two episodes and what we were really enjoying about it. And I had an inkling that he'd gone back to the movies and was starting to rewatch them. And then the conversation just goes elsewhere. And I think it's a really great chat. But, we do circle back to Alien Earth. But yeah, we really got into discussing AI, the future, a lot of the stuff that Garth finds really fascinating and he's passionate about it. And, uh, he's coming at it from a perspective of being a dad. So it is a really, really chunky and good talk. But yeah, there is some Alien Earth. There is definitely some Alien Earth, but it definitely goes off on a bit of a tangent. Uh, Before we bring in Garth, I have a sponsor. Yes, I have a sponsor. Wonder Pies came along and said we would like you to uh, discuss us on your podcast, and we would like to back the work that you do. And that seemed like a nice thing to do. I was already a fan of the pies. On previous podcasts, I've been leaning into the vegetarian and the vegan versions because I'm vegetarian. I had a couple of people who already eat at Wonder Pies, and they were pointing out, like they do meat pies as well, and they're really good. And so I don't like to, I don't write anything out. When something's scripted, I want to speak from the heart. But I thought I should actually look at their site and remind you that it's not just meat pies, it's different types of rolls, it's pasties, it's quiches. They make they make cakes, they make croquettes, they make pithiviers. I don't even know what that is. It looks delicious. They make family pies. Interestingly, the four most popular things bought on this site party size box of 12 sausage rolls. There are a box of beef mince pies. There is a family size apple pie. And there is a family size chicken and vegetable pie. So you can order them from wonderpies.com.au, all created by the brilliant chef Ray Capaldi. So if you're feeling like something that's, especially, I'm recording this on a really cold, wet day in Sydney, and it's been like this for a few days, and I could easily rip into about three of these pies right now, just because A, they're delicious, and also I just really dig comfort food on a very cold day. What else did I have to tell you? Look, I'll do some more plugging of things that are coming up at the end of the podcast. But just while I've got you, the 19th of September, the Adelaide Comedy is celebrating 25 years. It's been 25 years since Limo and I started comedy at PJ O'Brien's, and then I went on to kickstart this iteration of the Rhino Room. And we've been celebrating it all year. They've been doing lots of different shows. I've been jumping in where I can. And this time I'm going to be back in Adelaide with Mickey D. And we will be doing some stand-up, and we will also be recording a podcast. But we've also added the band Truckers for Christ, who will be playing as well. So Truckers for Christ, they're frontman is Charlie Hill-Smith, who was the first MC that I ever experienced. He was the guy who hosted my first ever gig back in 1994 when I was in the duo The Bunta Boys. So Truckers for Christ is his band, and they'll be playing as well. So it's turned into a real variety show. Charlie will join us for the podcast. So that'll be a lot of fun. So if you would like to come along to that and you're in Adelaide, head to adelaidecomedy.com and you will find the details for the show there. Patreon subscribers, hit me up in the DMs and I'll put you on the door because you know how that deal goes. But once again, I'm putting it at the start so you remember to get in touch with me so I know to put you on the door. Right. Yeah, you know what? Other stuff can wait. I'll be back at the end of this, but for now, let's bring in Garth Jones, talking about Alien Earth and some other things.
But people know that I've been recapping it on this podcast. I haven't spoken to anyone else about it, and
Yep.
so far it's really holding up. I'm enjoying all aspects of it so far. How are you going with it?
What I've been doing is to sort of fill the dead air between last week and tonight, is it? The new one?
Yeah.
Yeah. I've rewatched the Aliens in chronological order
Oh,
so I
really?
can appreciate just
Yeah.
how good we've got it now. I
Right.
did
Right.
Alien 3 yesterday.
Okay.
And man, the special effects are rough in that one, aren't they?
Right.
I
Well, you know
must have.
what? I've only ever seen that film once.
Yeah, I mean, I think I've got memories. I mean, it's definitely part of the sort of it's locked in there as something I've definitely watched a few times. It's all very
Mm,
familiar.
mm,
But it's definitely a pretty rough and ready after. But yeah, I heard you talking about the first two episodes on the podcast, and I wanted to sort of try and solidify the timeline if
mm,
there is one. And this
mm,
is apparently set 2 years before the events of the first Alien movie,
mm.
which then sort of, that sort of looking at the lineage of the various androids and synths and all the rest, and sort of wondering how that all fits together as well.
Right.
And also, my big question is, why does no one chain smoke anymore?
Oh, yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, what a lost
I miss that the
opportunity.
most. The
Yeah,
first two are just constantly like punching darts,
yeah,
aliens,
yeah, yeah, they are too.
and then they
Uh,
eradicated the smokes.
no, that's the thing I'm the angriest about in
That's
hindsight.
right,
The
exactly.
um so did you watch Prometheus and Alien Covenant
I watched Prometheus and Alien Covenant first. Yep,
and
and
then into Alien?
and then Alien, and I'm disappointed that we didn't get three David movies. In
Yeah,
hindsight, I found
yeah,
that Covenant ended in a spot where I definitely thought a trilogy of those would have been great. I
yeah,
didn't have a lot of time for them when I first saw them, but
yeah,
yeah, in retrospect, like watching Fassbender just do freaky, weird boy sort of genocide experiments, it
yeah.
definitely had sort of there was a cap there that would have been interesting to see.
Oh yeah, definitely. You know what? I can't quit Prometheus. Like I know it's deeply flawed, but there's heaps of things in it that I genuinely like, and I think some of the visuals are some of the best visuals in the Alien franchise.
Absolutely. I do think though that like the arc of people just doing dumb shit in the movies
Yes,
is really consistent
yes,
overall. Like, people are just constantly sticking their heads in pods,
right,
stuff you just wouldn't. Billy Crudup, I think, is, canonically the first guy to get a chest bursted.
right,
And he's the first guy to wander up and just stick his head straight into in the sort of
yeah,
in the cave with like Fassbender acting like the, weird demigod that he's sort of trying to portray there. It's
yeah,
yeah, that stuff just consistent throughout the trilogy. So it's just horror movie tropes, I guess.
yeah. Well,
Do the dumbest
that's
thing possible.
that's one of the things I've enjoyed about Alien Earth is that nobody's really done the dumb thing yet. Like
No,
they've come close and they've used the alien law against us in that we know how things work. But then they've sideswiped us with some of the creepiest alien
absolutely.
additions
And
that
I guess the rationale too is they're a bunch of kids.
right,
So,
right.
they're going to do dumb shit when they go in there. So, that takes that off the table a little bit too. It's not a bunch
Oh
of
yeah.
hardened space marines or like, space miners or whatever else
Yeah.
doing the stupidest thing possible.
Mate, the flora fauna alien and that whole scene of the child and the alien kind of checking each other out, and
Yeah.
then when he gets called away and he's so about it is kind of great. I love it.
Yeah. No, I think it's fantastic. Yeah, I'm really, yeah, enjoying sort of the synthesis of all of the films, even elements of the fourth one, Resurrection, some of the
Yeah,
the sense of experimentation and things like that. It's just, yeah, Noah Hawley, I guess, is renowned for doing that, sort of
yeah,
weaving all of those disparate elements together. And it's, yeah,
yeah,
I'm loving it to bits. Like it's the first thing on TV wise until Peacemaker comes back this week that I've
yeah.
decided to stick with for a while. Yeah,
Yeah, right.
yeah,
The uh, yeah, it's kind of been a good year so far for things that you once loved and grew out of and being recharged again. So having Andor and then
Yep.
this, and then isn't there a Blade Runner series coming at the end of the year?
Oh no, I'm not sure. No.
Yeah, well, if they nailed that, that would be a three for three for
Star Wars,
childhood
the
sci-fi.
Ridleys, yeah. Get the Ridleys
Yeah,
back in action, yeah. I mean, he's 90 now, isn't he? And he's still sort
it's
of
something crazy.
mixing it up like, yeah, he was like in his mid 40s when he made Alien.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Like he'd
He'd
already
been
had like
around for a while.
a career in advertising, and yeah, I mean
Yeah.
that's such a perfect film on revisiting it. I had less time for the second one. Overall.
Interestingly, I had
Yeah.
the same. Like it was perfectly fine, but I just prefer the Lovecraftian horror
Yeah.
of what is happening. And Alien Earth kind of gives you, kind of gives you a few bites of the cherry, doesn't it? It's like it's set in a spaceship, but it's also in a crashed,
You know,
block of apartments, and
yeah,
it's and
there's
it's
an
so it's the
aspect of
haunted house.
yep. And yeah, that sort of sense of that sort of procedural Judge Dredd sort of thing from 2012 as well, like working through the
Yeah,
place and like, clearing it out, that sort of
yeah,
fun.
yeah.
Um, but yeah, all on board for it. Now, I got a bit of news for you too, which is related to Alien in
Oh,
general. I was
yeah.
reading an article on Gizmodo this morning.
Mm,
In China, and this is just where it's being developed. It's not like a conspiracy theory or anything, but they're working on a robot womb
amazing.
that will be AI infused. So we'll be able
Yeah,
to like eventually the ethical side of it is that eventually probably be able to do synthetic humans if they keep going in that direction.
right.
Uh,
You know, I guess it'll be sold to the rich ladies. Hey, you don't want to lose your figure and you don't
yep.
want to play a surrogate. So,
It's 14 grand, so we can all get on board. But yeah, the thinking is that eventually we might end up, if like all governments don't really like to regulate new technology,
mm,
so that potentially, if we head in that direction, there is the room for sort of developing, synthetic placentas,
yep,
potentially synthetic actual fetuses, and then we're in the
yeah,
position where we can have the little workforce of, a little bit ahead of schedule, not
amazing.
2120, but yeah, we're we're doing it, but we're going to
You
try
know,
anyway.
like, what happens if later on today I really want a Juzzy Junior? Well, I can go to my 3D printer and,
Have a little
by
spoof in that.
tomorrow he'll be ready to go. Yeah, make sure it's full of ink. I'll have to close down my OnlyFans for that day. My OnlyFans is me jerking off into different types of fans. So it's
Perfect.
make
That's
it
the
it's making
Bukaki thing too. Yeah, you just get it.
yeah, it's making me hundreds of dollars a year. I'm doing well. So it's interesting, as you said about the regulation of new technology. I don't know if you heard Dave Anthony and I chatting recently, and he showed me a graph of at his son's school, everyone using AI, and the graph dropped precipitously
Yep.
the day school finished, and
Yes, I did
uh,
hear that. Yeah.
and it's wild because like I had someone turn up to a gig recently who had a really good time, and at the end of it said, I didn't know whether I should come along or not, so I asked ChatGPT, and it said I should, and I'm so glad that I listened to it. And I don't know, all this stuff is insidious, not in the major ways. Like in the major ways oh yeah, that's bad. I find it's more insidious when it's like something as, oh, I didn't know whether to go to a comedy gig, so I asked AI.
Um, yeah, I mean, the studies show very quickly that like outsourcing your decision making turns you into a borderline, simpleton.
Right.
It only takes about probably less than 6 months, to lose your ability to do process-oriented tasks, to remember the basic stuff you've learnt.
Right. Six
It was an
months. That's
MIT
not long.
study. It's not long at all. It's probably quicker. I was reading another one yesterday saying that oncologists who use AI to identify cancer, there's a 20% drop in their ability to identify cancers if they use AI over a few months.
Oh,
So there's your cool
uh,
medical applications. So if
wow.
something goes offline, so
Yeah.
just, I was telling you the other day, of an example of someone I was talking to who was asking ChatGPT what to have for dinner every night. Um,
Yes.
and I said to them, well, every time you ask ChatGPT, if you query it once, it's like a 500 ml bottle of water that
Right.
that you're basically flushing down the toilet because that's what it takes to cool the data center that does the operation. The amount
Right.
of water that
Right.
gets used up every time you make one query
Yeah.
is insane. And there are like projections that over the in 2027, say the water use will be probably equivalent to that of Denmark's, just in terms
Right.
of what AI will use to cool down the data centers that process everyone's, who'd win in a fight, Buffy or Blade,
Right.
important queries they're making during the day. Uh,
Wow.
or the carbon footprint of AI total by 2027 will be about the same as New Zealand's,
Right.
which will then
Right.
rank AI as basically sort of like the fourth or fifth greatest generator of carbon on the planet, which is
Right.
just fucking bonkers to that sort of very quick uptick in just how scary the environmental impact is.
Yeah.
Anyway,
It's
but it's
interesting
good that
that,
they're asking if they should go to your gig.
you know,
What if it
so
said no? Did you get a rationale?
no, like, what happens if the last person who used it wasn't a fan of mine?
Yeah.
Then ChatGPT's slandering me. Can I sue ChatGPT?
Well, you can. Apparently, 7 million people are suing one of the AI companies for copyright infringement,
Oh, yes.
and
Yeah.
they're saying that if they get sued, they'll have to go out of business. And it's like, well, cool. That sounds like the market at work.
Right.
Maybe you do need to go.
Yeah.
We're seeing the Productivity Commission reports from Australia is talking about, the Productivity Commissioner basically saying, well, you just may as well just let us take the data because we need to we need to maintain competitiveness. We need to grow.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
they've already got your data. Fuck it, give them the rest.
Right.
Yeah,
And it's essentially just kind of giving up, isn't it?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
Do you find that ChatGPT is being used at your daughter's school?
I find that it's surprising that I guess because it's such a new technology, or not a new technology, but it's this quickly becoming an insidious technology that's sort of flooding into the spaces that um, teachers don't really have a critical lens on it. So
Right.
there's like, this makes things easier. We'll just, we'll go here, we'll use this. This will speed up our processes. And
Right.
that seems to, I mean, that efficiency thing just seems to be across the board, how
Right.
people are relating to it, I guess, in that context. I've been pretty bolshy about it. Obviously, I've done a fair bit of reading to sort of like,
Yeah.
bring the case together.
Yeah.
Because I do find it pretty scary when you've got a bunch of kids I mean, I think under 18, they're saying it can have, massive effects on your cognitive development in general.
Right.
But kids under 10 for sure, like it's scary, like, if they don't learn how to think critically or like, come up with ideas at
Yeah.
this stage, it's pretty dangerous.
Yeah. And I'm guessing it would, if everyone's kind of putting into the same, AI, and then it kind of blands out ideas over time, doesn't it? You don't get much in the way of diversity because it kind of flattens the curve.
Yeah, I guess from my understanding is, when you're training AIs, the different companies definitely choose where the data's coming from. But
Mm,
more broadly, it's all taken from the Western canon. You
right.
know, all the information's essentially from the perspective of white Anglo-Saxon people and generally
Right.
men. So
Yeah.
you end up with like these, extremely biased models, whether that influences obviously, what happens in the medical sphere, creative sphere,
Yeah.
across the board, these models generally just go into that sort of very, they trend white and conservative in a lot of senses.
Right. Well, that's bad
That's quite
medically
bad.
though,
Yeah,
because you know, uh, different nationalities have different things that affect them. So,
absolutely. Yeah.
so like if you're African American and you're going through AI to try and get some sort of diagnosis, and it's predominantly through a white filter, I'm guessing they could miss things, right?
Absolutely, yeah, they'd miss all sorts of yeah, illnesses that are specific to where you're from, or what your ethnicity is,
Yeah.
and that's I guess I mean, what I find particularly galling about the whole idea that we should accept it first,
Mm.
wholesale, is I've got like sort of seven talking points that I bludgeon people into submission with. I watched Mark Maron's special the other night, and he said, the biggest problem with like progressives is that they basically annoy people into fascism.
Right.
And I feel like I'm trying to like get my talking points down so I'm not annoying people into becoming massive AI advocates, because
Right.
at the end of the day, the key issues are that the environmental factors are horrendous. There's
Yeah.
a huge class issue in the sense that like AI basically takes away sort of working class jobs predominantly, or
Yeah.
creative class jobs,
Right.
because they're the ones that if you're a right winger, you don't give a shit if art's terrible.
Yes.
Large
Yeah. Yeah.
extent,
Yeah.
you're happy
Yeah.
to like roll with whatever.
Well, that's
So,
kind
and
of what we've seen over the years. Like people in positions of power honestly don't give a shit, and that's why we've seen, especially here in Australia, the entertainment industry is collapsing in on itself
yes,
because people are being charged and they don't give a shit about the slot that they're dishing out, and there's no creative thoughts. It's just paint by numbers, and now the industry's looking around like Guy Montgomery got best newcomer and he's 35.
yes, yeah,
You
yeah.
know, that's a bad look. Like I love Guy, but best newcomer used to be young.
Yes, actual, like, yeah, not bordering middle age. He's
Yeah.
been around for a while. I remember listening to him like 2010, when he was 20.
Mate, he was on the
Yeah,
he was on the shelf back
yeah,
in
yeah, I do. I've got that
10
poster
years ago.
somewhere. Yeah,
Yeah.
but
Um
yeah, I think that big that comes with a few sort of, when you unpack that too, it's like when you remove the idea of resilience and critical thinking because you've got the
mm,
magic box that'll do it, then you don't sit
mm,
there and think about your ideas.
mm,
You don't test them. You don't have the frustration of spending 3 hours, sitting in front of a blank page.
mm.
If you've got something to just tell you what to do, like
Yeah.
that muscle atrophies. And if you never have it, you don't
Yeah.
grow it. And that's what
Yeah.
I'm concerned about in terms of these kids, is like
Yeah.
not having the guardrails or people who are, educated enough about how these things work
Right.
to actually give them the guidance to do things, manually or holistically first. Um,
Yeah.
and that's coming back to that point. But then I guess
Hang
there's
on.
a
So that's point number two.
that's point number two, mental health
Yep.
generally. I mean, we're reading horrible stories about people who are in love with their bot,
Yep.
who, go out and kill people because the bot dumps them, who think that their bot's God. The God
Right.
teaches them their God, you know,
Right.
relationships break up, all the rest, far worse, mental health holes because of the loneliness epidemic too.
Right.
Glad, Tom Gleason's got his daughter to sit there and tell him
Yeah.
he's a loser. So does have to ask a body if he's a loser.
Yeah. That's
It's good to have people
fascinating.
around you. Yeah.
It's like I remember when the movie Her came out, and I knew some people who didn't really like it, and just thought it was a little bit over the top. And it's like it was
It's only a
it was
decade ago.
prescient. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It predicted what was going to happen.
And I was reading an article in Wired on the weekend or last week, and it was, a journalist took three people and their chatbot boyfriends and girlfriends on a weekend retreat, like a couples retreat.
Right.
And people are lonely. People have got like circumstances where obviously they don't relate to people well, and all those sorts of things. But these chatbots are just fucking malignant when it comes to
Mm.
because they are still just spreadsheets that are anticipating what you want to hear,
Yeah.
or to an extent, go and see Hammo. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. But
Yeah.
the chatbots, once they've got a sense of what your your requirements are, they're going to tailor them to you unless you ask them not to. So
Right.
these three people are away on this weekend, setting up putting the chatbot on the table as they have breakfast,
Yeah.
just going through their weekend with their partner. But then when they were had the day away from them, they're all like, maybe this is bad for me.
Mm,
Maybe
yeah,
they still had that sort of, in the sort of back of the head, it was still, maybe this is a net negative for my, life and mental health in general, because I
yeah,
know deep down that it's just computer.
yeah.
Just, yeah, it's just an extremely complex spreadsheet that's been tailored to your preferences.
So it also means like uh, you're not challenged as well, so
No,
you're not being given different perspectives that make you uh, have to think about things and work your way through things.
yeah.
And yeah, that's quite interesting. Yeah,
Um, yeah, you read about just in those terms of like, you bomb your way through school using Chat GPT. You then find out that the job market is empty because the AIs have all got the entry level jobs now.
yeah,
You already don't have any skills to actually research or formulate ideas because you've just spent your entire high school years
yeah,
asking the chatbot to do it for you.
yeah,
Um, your probably only choice is to become a comedian or something.
yeah, 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 yeah. Painted into a corner.
Yeah.
And it's a terrible corner. It's a terrible corner when you decide that you might like to leave, and then you turn around and you go, I literally have no skills apart from the ability to make some ha ha. Yeah, it's like this has already started the rot with being incapable of having grown-up conversations on social media because it becomes there's that disconnect of not being with people, so therefore
Yes.
you give a different opinion and then you're attacked immediately, which is always different when you're sitting in the same room as
Yeah.
someone with a friend or whatever, and you disagree on something and you can kind of
Yeah, you just
talk
hash it
your
out.
way
Yeah.
through it. You know like I caught up with a mate yesterday, and this is such an innocuous conversation, but it was a fun conversation in person. But if it had been online, it would have been like it would have turned. But
Yeah.
he hated the new Superman movie, and the first thing that he said that he hated about it was he hated it when Superman saved a squirrel. And we had a really funny conversation because I was hanging merciless shit on him for uh, heaven forbid something nice
Yes.
happened in a Superman movie, and he was arguing his point, which but it was all fun, you know.
Yeah.
And it wasn't. It was much later. I was like, God, imagine someone writing that online, and then you respond to it, and how quickly that deteriorates.
Look, I,
And so then,
my,
so then you get to this point now where no one wants to have conversations because everything's too extreme, and then
yep.
now you get AI and it's just giving you exactly what you want. So sorry
I
to
mean,
interrupt, but yeah,
oh no, no, my self-restraint the other day, I saw a mutual friend talking about how anyone who thinks that the special effects on crypto were better than the Hulk can fuck off. And it's like, I don't know that anyone is actually saying that.
who, but
It was
and
on, it
which
was on, it was
Hulk,
well, the Ang Lee Hulk, and
right?
I was like, I don't know anyone saying that, and also just once upon a time I would have been like, jump on,
Yeah,
have a moment, go and actually verbalize that. It was like it's fucking pointless. And
yeah,
also there's another pulling another study out. Apparently 50% of the internet is bots now. So
50%.
50%.
Yeah, it's
So what's the point?
yeah, 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 yeah. Well, why get into an argument with a bot when I can just have a nice conversation with my
Yeah,
personal
and
AI?
that's right. Yeah, and it agrees the squirrel's great.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Okay, so that the fourth
Uh,
point was the
fourth
mental.
is yep. So we've got where are we? Fourth.
Sorry,
Sorry.
too many tangents.
Yeah, yeah. I was going to go into sub clauses in a minute. I was going to go into A's and B's. Uh,
Yeah, great.
I mean, to sort of leapfrog onto the environmental stuff at
Yeah,
the local level. They're planning on building 6,000 data centers this year. or by the
Right.
end of 2025 globally. So
Right.
what a data center does to the local environment is it basically just, much like mining, like all the
Yeah.
water that's pumped back out of it is toxic.
Right.
The carbon footprint they've shown in America, data centers, and they usually put them around disadvantaged communities or, obviously
Yeah.
ethnically diverse communities, uh, which leads to, chronic illness, pollution in the area. And that's high five thanks to, mainly Elon Musk or, Sam
Mm.
Altman and those guys. Um, so, that's coming to Australia if it's not there already.
Right.
6,000 data centers would be pumping out, an astronomical amount of like pollution to go on top of it. And this is
Yeah.
looping back to the one of my initial frustrations is we stopped talking about climate change.
Yeah.
Absolutely. It's
Yeah.
barely in the media. It's now everything's AI. If you talk about climate change, someone will say to you, oh, but AI will fix that. But the
Right.
first thing AI needs to do is build all the data centers that will fuck the environment entirely. And at some point
Right.
before we've totally, eradicated the planet, it'll solve it.
Yeah.
While everyone's, the key billionaires are building their bunkers
Yeah.
and everyone's going underground, they're burning the planet to a cinder.
Yeah.
And uh, that sort of, they keep extending the sort of the goal or the, that timeline for when they're going to solve climate change or
Yeah.
cancer or any of those things. It's just a
Yeah.
scam. It's another bubble. Um,
Yeah.
it's just, put it into, no one wants it really. No one really gives a fuck. You have
Yeah.
to, I've got a few friends and I hate to, make it generational, but, younger people I know who use chatbots to respond to their texts, things like
Right.
that. And then you're like,
Right.
well, what's the fucking point of having a conversation with you if I'm going to get, a
Yeah.
late text from your chatbot that, has been
Yeah.
anticipating your response to what I might say.
Yeah.
But by and large, yeah, it's all pretty useless, really.
Right. Um, yeah. It's also interesting that like I've got some pretty high profile friends who are all in on
Yeah,
the AI revolution and are pushing it hard.
yeah,
And you know, uh, there is a part of me that is wondering, like, do I need to kind of learn something about it? Uh, because am I going to be in a situation where I'll be left behind
mm,
in something that's a very basic function, and there was a point where, like we're old enough to remember there were people who didn't want computers in their house
yeah, for sure.
and
Yeah,
and didn't want the internet, and they had to turn around because they were being left behind with stuff, like my mum
yep,
didn't want a smartphone for a long time and really pushed
that was
back
very
against having a
wise.
mobile phone for as long as she could, like,
Yep,
and then eventually it's ubiquitous.
yep.
Ben Elwood it has a smartphone now, and he is
Oh my God.
furious. He's so angry, but he, you kind of need it
He took
because
the
it's
plunge.
like,
Yeah,
like I don't particularly want all of this stuff, but as you know, I've left my management recently,
mm,
and I've gone freelance, and I'm I might have to put. I haven't had Facebook on my phone for like a decade, but I might have to put Messenger back there
yeah, yeah,
because people contacting me for work contact me through email, Instagram DMs, WhatsApp, Facebook Messenger, like
yep.
the website. You're trying to keep up with everything, and you just kind of have to have everything at your disposal
Yeah, I
because
think
that
it's
might be important work that you're missing out
yeah,
on.
absolutely. I think that like that's the, I'm not going to do the full Dave Anthony, but capitalism is enforcing all this shit that's,
Yeah,
pretty fundamentally flawed. Or I mean, remember the metaverse?
yeah,
Remember how we were
like
going to all be on the
vaguely.
we're all going to be on the metaverse during COVID, and that was going to be the
Yeah,
revolution, and we'd all be floating around with their little bobbleheads, and
yeah,
never
yeah,
attend a meeting with another human being again.
yeah,
Um, you know, crypto took off because they pumped so much money into it
yeah,
that it became a sort of fait accompli that it, was going to be successful through sheer force of will.
Yeah.
I mean, absolutely. I think it's possible that AI, just because they've invested so much money into it, although it's clearly flawed.
Yeah.
There's such bad results. I was reading something about how Microsoft's warning people that like Excel with the AI injection can no longer do maths properly.
Really?
So yeah, so don't expect it to do accurate maths or calculation because
Wow.
so
Wow.
it's the we talked about enshittification. It's all of that stuff. We're just like things just don't work, and we just got to suck it up because that's what we're allowed to have. I don't.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm feeling. I mean, I'm in a bit of a bubble because I do what I do, and I just say fuck it. I'm not going to use it, and that's not
Yeah.
reality for most people.
Yeah.
Uh, I'm sort of transitioning out of maybe doing design, and I'm sticking with obviously writing fiction and all the rest, and not relying on
Mm.
those, but sort of maybe moving the career away from being reliant on being on the fucking computer and having to
Yeah.
sort of deal with all that shit because it just makes me despair. I feel a little bit sick when I hear people talk about it in the sort of glowing terms that you were talking about.
Yeah.
Sort of, I just get the AI to make some music I like the sound of.
Yeah.
And it's like, just listen to the music you like then. Like, just
Yeah.
throw someone a
Well,
bone.
well, there's that Spotify band that doesn't exist that's pumped out how many
Yeah,
albums in 6 weeks? Like 7 albums or something
yeah,
crazy
yep,
like that. And that's taking up valuable space where someone who worked hard on their craft
yeah.
can't get a
I mean,
listen.
a lot of people are rejecting Spotify now because the CEO is like connected to like a whole bunch of like dodgy military surveillance investment now as well.
In Israel, in isn't it Israeli AI for the military?
Yeah, it might be I mean, I think he's more broadly investing now, but yeah, there's that got the gospel, which is like the really, dystopian AI that, just seeks out people and their families and just basically just drone attacks them.
Yeah,
Uh, just all, lovely stuff that
yeah,
we can look forward to in the future once they've realized they can do it to anyone and
yeah,
no one says a
yeah.
word really.
Well, it's funny. So I succumbed to being a middle-aged white man, and I'm listening to the History of Rome podcast. It's so funny. There
Yep.
was that whole thing of men are always thinking about Rome, and I honestly had not thought about Rome in a long time, and like decades, I hadn't thought about Rome. Like the only time I thought of Rome was when I saw at JB Hi-Fi the
The
TV
collection.
series
Yeah.
Rome,
Yep.
yeah, on Blu-ray,
Oh, Ray
and
Stevenson. Cool.
yeah, and still didn't pick it up, and it's
Well, you know why? Because they fucking cancelled Deadwood to
for
make
Rome.
Rome.
Oh, is that right?
They took the
Oh,
budget. Yeah.
okay. Well, I'm so glad I
Fucking
didn't
brutal.
invest in
Yeah.
that then. But so I've been listening to that podcast, and it's really interesting. It's like, so, nothing's really changed. It's this person has an ego, and they are therefore going to go to war, and 50,000 people died, and it's just a number.
Yep.
But if you take the time to think about it, each one of those people had a mother who went through childbirth,
Correct.
you
Yep.
know, and everything's just kind of passed away. I'm not having a go at the podcast about this. This is a
Yes.
more
Yeah. Yeah.
a statement on history, but everything just gets reduced to numbers. And if there's anything that we've learned, and I don't want to step on the fun that Dave Anthony and I create, but the people in charge don't give a shit. And an artist who works hard at their craft to present something, and now you've got AI that can do a shit facsimile of it, and
Yep.
someone who can afford that can produce it and just pass it off as, oh yeah, well that's good enough. Like it keeps
Oh,
that divide right
absolutely.
down.
Yeah. I'll send you an essay that you can put on the Patreon. It's called The New Aesthetics of Fascism.
Hmm.
And it's about AI art and just how insidious it is because I don't believe that creativity should be democratized at all. I
Mm.
think that like some people, if you're just doing prompting a large language model or whatever to make your awful racist, Studio Ghibli cartoon or whatever, like
Mm.
you're doing that because you get a rise out of people who care about things.
Mm.
That's what AI is a tool for, really, is like
Yeah.
pissing off people who are
Yeah.
actually sensitive enough to enjoy the act of creation and sharing ideas
Yeah.
and spending time and laboring on something to present or not. Do it for yourself, but
Yeah.
it just taking whatever you want to sort of relate to the world,
Yeah.
learning the craft over decades,
Yeah.
and presenting yourself through your work. And that's
Yeah.
what AI shits on, and that's what capitalism absolutely hates, because they have to pay money for you to do it.
Yeah.
So now there's a machine that can like make facsimiles of it,
Yeah.
and you don't have to pay it. Perfect. And
Yeah.
bonus, it just fucks people off when you use it.
Yeah.
Um, it just boggles the mind when I mean, Instagram's functionally useless, but when you see some of the crap that like, people are generating with their bottles and bottles of water and all the rest, just for clicks, and it's
Yeah.
because it's annoying, like Trump with an American eagle on his shoulder is like a fucking, UFC fighter
Yeah.
coming through and all that sort of shit.
Yeah.
It's just fundamentally anti creativity,
Yeah.
anti like it's there's no humanist bent to it at all.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it feels like, so would you say the biggest flaw with Alien Earth is it's not set to, it's too far in the future? It should be,
Well,
should
that's
be
I was
set
going to
next
bring it
year.
back. I was going to bring it back. I mean, the five corporations could easily be Disney, Google,
Yeah.
Amazon,
Yeah.
any
Yeah.
combination of the other ones.
Oh,
um,
yeah. Yeah. You
and
feel like at some point we're going to get the United States of Amazon and South Apple and,
yeah, and it's
you
just
know,
and obviously I mean, there is that that sense of like, oh, if you watch something like Foundation with the the gods of Earth, they're essentially CEOs, and that's what we're ending up now with. And I'm not going to go down this rabbit hole completely, excuse me, but there's a philosopher that the people like JD Vance and Peter Thiel are really into, called
mm,
Curtis Yarvin.
mm,
It's like his online handle for decades. He's only in his early 50s, but he's been around for a long time.
long time.
And
Yeah.
he's a leather jacket guy. He's a serious dark web intellectual. And his whole thing that's sort of taken root with the far right in America is this idea that basically they need to get rid of like democracy, and they need to install CEOs as kings.
Right.
And what they'd then do is have a series of network states where each CEO would have like a little cluster of serfs that
Yeah.
would build their iPhones, work on their
Yeah.
Teslas.
Yeah.
They'd be paid fuck all because like AI would have driven everyone into like, basically like the lowest subsistence wage jobs.
Yeah.
So, there's no middle class. You've got your God King,
Yeah.
Elon, God King, Sam Altman, and all the rest.
Yeah.
And this guy's huge with, as I said, like Peter Thiel, who's the guy who started Palantir and funded Trump in 2016.
Yeah.
Palantir is the surveillance software they use to scan all the flights that come into America and decide whether they rendition you and question you because of the blog you wrote about Palestine.
Right.
Uh, and obviously JD Vance is like, one Big Mac away from being president. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. Well, we're recording this the day after Trump had his big meeting with Putin, where he's going to end the war. And have you seen a more chastised Trump? I know I haven't. There was a boss there, and it was definitely
yeah,
not him.
you've got to. Yeah, I mean, I don't know about the piss tapes or anything, but there's got to be something they've got over him.
Oh
Um,
yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yeah, yeah, yeah. He's uh, you know, um, alpha males who bang on about being alpha males invariably are not alpha males.
and they meet a short, bald dude who can murder you with like a glare. And
Yeah,
remember
yeah,
Tony Abbott shirt fronting?
yeah, yeah. I do. I really do.
But yeah,
All
anyway, in
right.
conclusion to that, that
Yeah,
whole rant. Yeah, I mean that's Yeah, Alien Earth, yes, definitely you could haul it back 100 years because all these ideas are in the ether with the right wing now about just letting
Yeah,
corporations run rampant, even
yeah,
more rampant.
yeah,
And Boy Cavalier, Wayland Yutani,
yeah,
they're all sort of here already.
yeah,
And
yeah,
it seems like we're just going to let them run riot anyway. So cool.
yeah.
Uh,
That phone call between the two of them did not feel like something that was that made up.
no, not at all. No, I'm sure that, I mean, they all obviously, the public facing thing is like they all have little squabbles on Twitter, but they're still a
Yeah,
gang because they're
they're
all
still a
guys who
gang.
are, yeah. Jeff Bezos wants to make Lauren Sanchez the new Bond girl.
Amazing.
That's where we're at.
Uh, you know what? I believe
So
in
you buy the
Villeneuve.
IP, then you insert your wife into the IP.
Yeah, right. Well, I believe in Villeneuve. I'll, uh,
Yes, hopefully he walks away. Yeah,
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 yeah.
just let JJ Abrams do
Yes, I saw somewhere where J.J. Abrams is going to produce they're going to make the new Star Trek movies, and it was I have to say I think this headline was slightly tongue in cheek, but it said produced by Gracie Abrams' dad.
it.
I think it was funny. I'm not
Yeah,
sure. We are going to be bringing back Past the Amyl, where we look at
we are. Yes.
exploitation movies, and you had a good suggestion for our next one, which I figure we should tell people now because then they
Yep,
can
for sure.
watch it before we record.
Yes, I watched Nicolas Cage in The Surfer on our flight to the
Mm,
UK recently, and
mm,
definitely keen to get a rewatch of that in before we go have a chat about it.
yeah, yeah,
It's the late Julian McMahon's swan song as a
yeah,
performer as well, so
yeah,
it's a great role for him too. He's really quite great.
yeah.
Um, and it's I guess it's like a sort of if you took a heroic dose and watched Home and Away or went down to Summer Bay
Right, great.
as as an experience. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. All right. Well, that's I haven't seen it yet either, so everyone else can watch it in the lead up, and then we'll make that our next film.
great. Sounds good.
Where can people find you and your books?
I have the website, which is pasttheamel.com. I am on Blue Sky and Instagram at the same, at Past the Amel, and also Letterboxd, where I
Oh,
update and do pithy one sentence reviews of the stuff I'm
amazing.
watching
Yeah,
because that's a little bit of fun. And
yeah.
I still enjoy movies that haven't been destroyed yet by
That's
like
I've been encouraged to do letterbox, and it's like, oh God, I just don't know if I can take it on board. Um, I the one sentence review though, when you told me that, I was like, that's good. I wonder if I could just have like five different lines that I use. I loved
yeah.
it. I liked it. It was good. It
I
was
mean,
fine. It
the
wasn't for
one
me.
issue I'm finding is like I find myself in the last third of the film starting to think of the line.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well,
I'm like, I'm sort of, yeah,
that's why I was thinking if
yeah, have like a yeah, have a
I've got
form ready
five
to
that
go.
I use, and then people can
Yep,
makes it easy.
yep, absolutely.
That
Yeah, and I did watch Weapons last night too.
oh,
Very
mate,
good. Yep, yep,
mate. I
no
really
spoilers.
enjoyed Weapons, and it's funny, isn't it? Because it's a horror movie all the way through, but it just kind of almost slightly changes genres with each perspective
Yes, yep,
that it takes on. Like it becomes a bit of a horror detective with Brolin,
yes, yes.
and then it's kind of like it's a comedy with the drug addict, but it's still
It's like it's
probably
Jay from Jay
has
and Silent Bob suddenly on the
yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah. But it's also then that like it's that bit's funny, but then it kind of has one of the creepiest
yes.
scenes in the movie.
I mean, that first jump scare, that was a full body like that. I haven't
Yeah,
had that for a long time. That was
yeah,
that was like, holy shit. You did
yeah,
that.
yeah,
Because you are
yeah,
sort of lured into almost that sort of familiarity by the time they start in with it. You're sort of based in the world. And that was like, that was a full body, like just
yeah,
wash of adrenaline there. That was quite amazing. So just go for that.
yeah. It was
And
really
then,
good. Like So many good original films this year.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
So I'll be, and yeah, I think I said on this podcast it was Weapons, then Naked Gun back to back, and it was so nice to be in a cinema where having the collective experience 2 nights in a row.
Yes.
Because Weapons is like the ending's like quite funny, I think,
Hmm.
even though it's still somehow creepy and
Do
ends
you
on
think
a
that
mildly ominous note.
do you think that the Kreger is like having a sort of contest with Ari Aster for who can do the most traumatic head trauma,
Yeah, yeah, it does feel
the
like
most
that.
devastating head traumas, flick
Yeah.
to flick? I
Have
haven't
you
seen
seen that?
Eddington yet, but I'm hoping there's one in there.
Yeah. Oh, I won't say anything, but Eddington,
Very good.
I think Eddington might be my favorite Ari Aster film so far.
Yeah, cool. Cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And but I was definitely in a cinema full of people who weren't enjoying it as much as me. And then,
He's
you know,
polarizing. Yeah.
absolutely, absolutely. But all
Anyway,
right. Thanks for
cool.
that, mate. And we'll be back soon with some Nicolas Cage goodness. Thanks for having the chat.
Very good. Thanks, Justin.
Thank you to Garth Jones for joining me today. I hope you found that conversation as interesting as I did. And yeah, I don't know, depending on how you feel about AI and ChatGPT and all of that, maybe there's something for you to have a think about. Make sure that you check out his side as well. And you can find some of the crazy exploitation writings that he's been producing over the last few years, winning awards. Uh, really, really digging into that kind of grungy storytelling that we don't see as much of these days. But please check that out. A couple of little plugs before I go. If you would like more of my writing, I've got a Substack, which is Justin Hamilton Comedian. Go over to Substack. You can find that there. There is the free blog, Dispatches from the Fury Road, and then there is the ongoing autobiographical lessons I've learned blog that will be taking place from now until whenever I catch up to the present. But that's called One Foot in the Spotlight. And if you would like to subscribe, you'll be able to access that. But you can still access the free one if that's more your jam. Over at Patreon, there are different tiers that you can hook up to, and they will not only get you access to ad-free versions of this podcast, but also live shows that I've filmed and bonus podcasts and all sorts of things, and also free tickets to shows that I produce. So everyone who is a Patreon subscriber in Adelaide, they will be able to get into this show at the Rhino Room on the 19th of September for free. All they have to do is let me know. Don't forget, let me know, because otherwise I won't know. Yeah, I have a YouTube page that is slowly building where if you would prefer to watch a video than listen, and look, I'm slowly building that, but there's been a lot going on since I left my management. It's I'm genuinely working 7 days a week, 15-ish hours a day. Uh, don't feel bad. It's really good. It's been a really good move. I feel really positive. This is the best I've felt all year. But yeah, that to-do list just keeps getting a little bit longer, but hopefully we are not far from everything evening out. Um, and you know what? If money's really tight at the moment for all of us, and if it's all a bit too much, and you would like to support this podcast, a top review on whichever platform that you use to experience the Justin Hamilton podcast, that's great. That is like, that's a top thing to do as well. But you know what? You can also just listen. So thank you for joining me. What will be the next podcast? I was going to bring out the Alex Hammond uh, episode, but maybe I'll leave that to next week. I guess the next one will be the third episode of Alien Earth. Maybe it'll be that. Hmm. Let me have a think. Anyway, while I have a think, You enjoy the rest of your day, and yeah, hopefully everything's really good and you'll laugh. Until then.